So, welcome back to OpenTTD. So I was just thinking about the situation from last episode a little bit more, and I think I will actually just quickly figure out the signal situation here. So we have here a few things. So we have the entry signals, green as long as there's one or more green exit signal. So we have exit signal behaves in the same way as a block signal, but it's necessary to trigger the correct color on entry and combo. And then we have, of course, the combo signal. The combo signal acts as both an entry and an exit signal. This allows you to build a large tree of pre-signals. So I think that we just need to use the entry and exit signals, but reading through this, it doesn't really quite make sense because the entry signal would be green as long as there's one or more green exit signals. But if there's different directions, then it wouldn't be useful, right? Because it would just be green anyway. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it because I think it would be. I don't want it to be green as long as there's one or more green exit signals, because right now you could go from here to like here left, or you could go to right, but if I want to go right, then it should wait for this signal to be there. So I'm not sure if this logic can be done with this type of signaling here. And if not, then I guess it's more worthwhile to think about how to improve the situation overall. So we have here people crossing right. We have basically people crossing all directions. And what you would need for that type of situation is basically this thing. So that's the solution ideally. There's just not so much space. Why did we box ourselves in like that? Don't know. We could have done the railway station a bit further out or something. That was our predecessor's fault. Certainly. Yeah. So making the railway from here is probably the right move. So we'll just do it. This is gonna be quick and painless. No issues at all will come from this. Don't worry about it at all. This will be fine. So then quickly we will bring that railroad up from there, but we do need cash. So let's borrow a bit because we're letting the game run kind of slowish. I think also maybe last episode we switched the daytime, so maybe that also affects our cargo rates. Let's not go on the new track yet, please. Here we will do like that. And then we will flatten out this area here. Big changes here, but needed changes, I think. Okay. I mean, it would look nicer if it was one longer, right? So let's do it while we have the space and the time for it. Something like that. Now here we are a little bit short on space. Maybe actually. It just about fits. Crazy. As if I planned that. And then, like here we want to go down basically, and then join the railroad down here, like that. And then here we want to do the same, so we can go like that, and then join in here. And then this one can already join, because I think now we are complete, except for this unnecessary one. And some signals, yes. Okay, so just quickly remove those here. And we're gonna place a few correct signals here. So I kind of dislike the building signals parts on these ones because I'm always a bit confused. So this is correct. So then this one is like that. Yes, we have left-hand traffic. Great. That means those bridges are like that here. Just built like wrong signal accidentally because I wanted to place on this bridge. Why can I not build a signal on the bridge while the train is on there? I guess it's a security measure, right? So that you don't accidentally switch the signals, because it switches the whole bridge in one go, basically. So that's fine. And then here, are they here on the inside or the outside? So here they are on the outside, and then here the signals, they are here on the right side, so this one needs to be switched. Yeah, they're always on the outside here in this outer ring. And then I removed one signal here, so we can place a new one there, and maybe a few new here ones there. And that should be roughly it, actually. So let's run it a bit faster, just to observe it a bit and regenerate some of our money. Yeah, it's a much more efficient way to do things, at least. I mean, there wasn't really any way to make it less efficient than before, except for maybe just a cross. This is, I would say, a decent thing, but not perfect yet, for sure. Okay, then let's observe it a slightly bit longer. I wonder if Champerieux ever will expand across this gap here. I'm not super confident that it will, but we have enough. Yeah, we allowed it to build things. So can you make that? You can just disable. You can make it faster. If you wanted to make it faster, you'd have to subsidize it. Limit building continuous inclined roads. Limits the length of consecutive sloped road tiles, which towns will build. Don't think that's the setting I need. Not sure if it will grow up here. If it not, I think there's the option to fund a new town. If we have ever like infinite money, basically, we could just fund a new town over here, like New Champerieux, and then they will grow in here, similar to how it's actually, how Blaustedt here actually behaves a little bit to Willmarkt, because Blaustedt is filling in some of it, but actually Willmarkt here, I think that's also part of those houses are Willmarkt, if I remember correctly. So if I go here, then those belong to Willmarkt, in fact. So I think the same would be here, basically, that those would also be spreading over into this side. At least that's the hope. So on the money-making front, we're a little bit slow. Lots of still negative transfer costs because things are in transit so long. And transfer costs are basically not realized costs because you still have to do them to the end station. So a lot of people here want to go to Marktried, for example, which is all the way down here. So unless they actually get delivered here, they will not count as income yet. At least that's my understanding. So given that we know that, let's just quickly take a look at the trains here to Marktried. And I already see that there's a bit of a traffic jam here on this line. Probably that's actually one of the main reasons for how we could improve money by increasing the throughput, maybe particularly on the going to the main train station hub. Maybe there's just missing also a few signals, right? Just feels like it. Maybe our signal length is also, we should go like down. I think we can afford like more signals. The infrastructure costs are not going to kill us. So yeah, we're gonna have to do a few episodes of renovations for sure soon. Yeah, this is a very inefficient turn, but the trains are kind of slow anyway, so it's not the end of the world, theoretically. So long as at least it's more or less fluid. How do I make them that they put a new signal here on the bridge anyway? Don't know. Yeah, but we have to figure this out a bit. There's definitely a throughput issue here on this join. So we could make also like a, routing around Kleiner Willmarkt and going up here, just skip that section if they want to just go straight. And I think that might be a quick fix for the situation. So why not? And I just saw earlier this lifted track construction. How does that work? Is that compatible with our current setup? No. Don't know. What is a lifted track? I think it's not planning railroad, so I guess that's not really quite what we need. We could build a super long bridge here. That would kind of be not so nice. I mean, I don't want to box the town in too much. That's my concern. So maybe I will just make it like below here on this side of the place. That is not quite correct. It would be like that. Yes, that is more correct. So then we will do here, unfortunately, also a little bit of terraforming, just to allow us to go around here. That's right, like that. I say as I make it completely wrong. And yeah, then this will just lead here up, given a new way to get into the main hub that is slightly more effective. That basically means that some of the trains that want to go up, they don't have to cross to the right here. Instead, they can just go straight, which is very helpful. Of course, it's still not very effective because this hub here, the center here, is basically prohibiting some throughput. Anytime a train stops or crosses over another one, it's a waste of time, basically. So given that understanding, we can, of course, try to build a bridge here. I kind of dislike how the viaduct's columns look, because they kind of look like as if they go directly on the track. So we will reroute that a bit. So the only way that this route here, the left one, can actually go here is anyway down here. We cannot go to the right. So this will just go straight into that bridge instead. And then it will join down here like that. That already eliminates the crossing. Essentially, actually very nicely it eliminates the crossing. So making sure that everything is correctly signaled. And it does look like it. So this will go here. It has a little bit of priority until that signal, which is great because then the train will wait here on the bridge, which is fine. We don't have any bottlenecks now anymore, at least as far as I see. Well, the bridge is actually a bottleneck, I just saw. So how do I make the... Let's just delete that signaling. Then add new one. Because I want to have like one more signal here in the center of the bridge. A bit more tighter space signaling is definitely also the answer to a lot of our problems here. Very nice. I see that there's still a bit of waiting down here. So can we do a similar trick here? So this one can go here left. The bottleneck is the one from the right side wanting to pass over here, essentially. So we can try to make also a bridge here to make that happen. The only thing is we need to get somewhere onto that. So I think that makes some sense, but I want to then expand that. Then we can cross over up here, then go here and then onto that bridge. That'll be great, actually. Oh my god, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Who does that? That architect was fired immediately. Right, so there's some signaling issue here, like that. So now you don't need to cross over here, instead you will just cross here, which means that this crossing here is eliminated, essentially. Now this one can only go left anyway, so there's no reason it does that, right? Oh, let me just think about that for a second. That was actually a bit rushed. I think I might actually have messed up. Okay, so from this side, you want to stay on the left side here. That makes total sense that you stay left here, or you can cross over onto this left side here. So this connection here does not make sense anymore. And this one never made sense. That's just somehow I completed that connection, but that actually would not make sense. So this is fine. Now if we're like making it pretty, we can just make this a little bit of a tighter one so that there's no one gap space between them. That's not necessary. And that should be that, with a bit of signaling needed still. There's some signal here, then we will put one more roughly there, then one directly after this join. Then we can just put like a bit of more signaling here as well, just so that they have it. Maybe that one can be here. Okay, this looks also a bit better, except of course if they break down in the middle of the bridge, that doesn't help things. But otherwise, those two joins look pretty decent as far as things go. So now that we're already a little bit in the mood for optimization, just let's take a quick look at some other things here. We already have a pretty good process. So Marktreat is anyway here like one of our things we're worried about. So the passenger train to Marktreat here is completely filled up. And let's just, what did I want to take a look at? How many trains there are maybe. So let's go. Passenger train, Marktreat. 2. Clearly that's not enough, even though they make no profit, it seems. 200 passengers still waiting here to be picked up. So for sure we will just put like a bit more on that train, on that. Oh, we have a new train. I will not test it out. I think in 1 year it will come anyway to the market. So let's put 3 more onto that route. Okay, you can go to Marktreat first, since I spawned you here on that side. And the same one for you. Just go to Marktreat first. Then they should space out eventually, right? I probably put that as spacing out. Yeah. Okay, the people in Marktreat will be very surprised by how many trains suddenly arrive in their little town. So, any other things? This one. How about that one? Looks like fine. I think actually there is no real traffic jams down here. It seems like most people don't want to go to Ilmtal. That's only the trains. Well, there's some trains that go to Ilmtal, and those are the ones that need to take this connection. but they're far between. They're not really that common. More or less, it's fine. Seems to me. I'm seeing there's a bit of a bottleneck here. Anytime a train stops, it's basically a bad thing. And it seems like they're stopping here for sure. Okay, so then let's not talk about this being nice and sufficient. It's not. We're going to go ahead and upgrade the signal spacing here if they allow us. Seems like they don't. I was hoping that you could just drag it and it would place more signals. It seems like that's not how it works, somehow. Maybe you just have to remove all the signals, then place new ones. Okay, so then let's quickly figure this one out. So this is the same type of join as before. From this left side, you can go left over here, which is the problem. And this one, it can go straight, which is the main way. And it can also go here to the side. So I think the main thing that you need to do is like build a bridge on this right side here to cross over that thing. So no worries at all. That's pretty straightforward. Just with the slope, it's a little bit stupid. Maybe it makes sense that this is one elevated level from this down here. That we make this joint a little bit somewhere else so that it's a bit more spaced out. We wanted to preserve that little hill here, I guess. Okay. What is the best way? I guess the best way is actually to not preserve that little hill. Look, we're gonna move that hill. It's gonna be here now from the future. So nobody noticed that. And we're gonna make that joint a little bit further out. And we're gonna just do that roughly like here, so that we have enough space to do our hill business. So that we have enough space to make our bridge business. So that means we're going to delete that here temporarily. Going to pull that out. Then we make the bridge from here to here, like that. And then just come out here. If we remove that signal, at least it would work. Like that, perfectly fine, more or less. Looks aesthetically a little bit ugly, so maybe we can do it like that. Then it looks at least a little bit better. Also keep them away from that holy hill. And then a few signals should do the trick to make this perfect. Okay, so let's observe, check and verify that this is fine. They do have a little bit of slowdown because they need to go up this bridge, which is not ideal. Maybe it would have been smarter to build a tunnel, I guess, for that cross connection or something, but it looks like they're decently fast enough and there's no big problems at least. Let's take a look at the network flow and the places that we fixed before. No real stopping, although Kleiner Willmarkt is really pushed to the brink here with this whole railroad thing, and now we have some stopping here, but that's more because of capacity issues rather than anything else, I think. Yeah, the entrance exit here to Willmarkt Moor Furnace is decent, I would guess. I think it's just that the southbound passenger trains also pass through the station, which is of course completely unnecessary. You can see that they're passing through here and blocking up some of the real estate for the cargo trains, so maybe that's a future problem as well to resolve that. But yeah, I'm fairly happy with these network optimizations that we just did. So I'm gonna call it here. I will observe it a little bit, see if there's any other area where we need to improve. But for now, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. See you next time. Bye bye.